In this short video in details, I'm going to show you how to remove the steering knuckle on Toyota Echo, Toyota Yaris, everything in details. Yeah, if you have to do the wheel bearing or for any reason you have to undo the steering knuckle, doing the ball joints or replacing CV axle, this is a video for you. Let's get started. Here's my reliable red Toyota Echo 2005 year model. I have all tools ready. Let's get started. As you can see, the vehicle is up in air, sitting on the blocks. I have already front tire removed. And if you're first time to the channel, if you're not a subscriber, please click that subscribe button and notification bell. Very appreciated that. Alright, as you can see, I already sprayed some penetrating oil on front strut bolts to make our life easier. Avoid spraying on brakes. Wire brush them as well. I already did before spraying. Yes, it helps to remove the bolts much easier. Alright, as you can see, my vehicle is sitting on solid blocks, both sides. Yes, I am doing some other work and all four wheels are removed, but if you're working on one side, you just have to do one side. Okay, 17 millimeters deep sockets, 3/8 ratchet. Let's undo the upper brake caliper bolt, as you can see, and we have one more bolt on the bottom. Yeah, let's wiggle it up and down the brake caliper and pull it out. You can see I'm using just a piece of wire to let the brake caliper to rest on that wire, and I'm hanging to the coil spring. Make sure brake caliper won't hang on a rubber brake line. Okay, here's our rotor. Let's take a rotor off the hub. Here we go. Safety goggles. And now we're going to remove the CV axle nut. If you don't have an impact wrench, undo that nut when vehicle is still sitting on the ground with the tire on. Yeah, let's straighten that notch, which it prevents that nut from getting loose. I'm using the punch. Yeah, straighten it up. 30 millimeters deep socket. As usual, our mighty rigid impact. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, comments, critics, suggestions, recommendations, put everything down in the comments section below under the video. Okay, CV axle nut is removed. Very easy if you have power tools. Otherwise, undo that nut on the ground. T30 Torx to remove 3 dust shield screws. As you can see, the dust shield covers the big rotor. This video is only for demonstration, how I do it, what works for me. Yeah, always refer to service repair manual for any specs. Okay, dust shield is off. ABS sensor time. If your vehicle has ABS, you have to do that. If not, don't worry about it. 10 millimeter socket or wrench, you can use it. Let's remove that mounting bolt. Alright, be careful with the wire, make sure you won't damage that, and we go from side to side and it will come out. Okay, I put the bolt back, make sure I won't lose it. Let's undo the clip from the strut, open it up, and just place that ABS sensor away. We'll put it back later. Alright, now we have to separate the tie rod from the steering knuckle. Let's remove the pin, straighten the ends. I'm using the side cutters. Pretty easy. More straight it is, will be easier to pull it out. And I'm biting at the head and prying against the nut. Just you can hammer a little bit to give yourself a little bit more meat to bite. Okay, and 17 millimeters socket, and we're using our 1/2 inch impact. Let's remove the tie rod nut. Nice and easy. Flip it upside down and put it back. It's a crown nut. We're going to reuse it. Just now time for tie rod removal tool, because we have to save that rubber boot and we don't want to hammer on the threads and damage the stud. Yeah, this tool you can get from any auto parts store or online. They're pretty cheap. They're like around 20-30 bucks. Very helpful for I'm using 15-16 wrench. Guys, if you like this video or this video is helpful, informational, interesting to watch, put a thumbs up. Appreciate it. That, yeah, this way we're avoiding damaging the rubber boot because our tie rod end is still in good shape. We're going to reuse it, and while we place that knot, it prevents the threads from get mushed. Yeah, just keep threading it, it'll pop right out. Yeah, as you can see, it's easy. Yeah, right tools will make your work much more efficient, easy, and you don't have to do it twice. Nothing takes longer than the same job you have to do twice, or if you damage some parts, you don't need to struggle. Okay, our tie rod is removed. Now time for the ball joint. We have ball joint only on the bottom. This is McPherson's suspension. Let's remove the pin. Same way we remove the pin at the tie rod end. Just let's pull it with the side cutters. That's the way I always do. Works great. 18 millimeters wrench to remove the ball joint nut. As you can see, I temporarily connected a steering knuckle to the tie rod and just insert the pin like that. And now we're going to undo that nut. Usually it comes pretty easy. Keep your threads clean, and yeah, nothing will stop you. We're going to reuse the ball joint. Ball joint is still has lots of life left. We're saving the boot and the ball joint itself. If you're going to replace the ball joint, that's where you don't need to be really careful damaging, but we're trying to avoid any damage to the rubber boot. Okay, spraying now a little bit of penetrating oil. Put in a nut back. Don't try to make the ball joint loose until you remove the nut. Okay, I'm placing my ball joint separator tool, same tool as we used on the tie rod end. It goes over the boot, and yeah, 15-16. Let's just compress the here we go, and it popped right out. It has no chance to stay. All right, digital caliper. Let's measure the length for our relatively close alignment, because it will affect our alignment settings. Just for our reference, we need to know how alignment was set to keep our camber close to the original specs as possible before we'll have a chance to go and do the alignment again. As you can see, I'm grabbing on the bottom of the strut where that lip and following the straight line over the bolt, and I'll make a reference mark. You can see where we're starting point and our measuring point at the front, making a mark, and we know the distance, because that distance will vary and affect our camber. And we're, let's see our number, we're too much slide, 124.89, we'll say 125. That is our happy number. Same way we'll set our camber to that measurement and save our alignment before going and redo it, and it will be close enough to the proper setting. Okay, our measurement is done. It's pretty easy. Time to undo the front strut from the steering knuckle. 19 millimeters wrench and 19 millimeters socket, and our rigid impact. Okay, let's remove those two bolts. Alright, the bottom first. Easy, and the top one is the same way, no struggle. And off. Okay, let's pull those bolts out and separate strut from the steering knuckle. I like to keep all fasteners together, bolts and nuts, that way I know where it's all going. And let's pull it out. As you can see, yeah, that's why it came out. And now we're ready to undo the bottom wall joint. Let's press on a lower control arm to get it out and separate the low control arm. And now we have to pull our steering knuckle and push it on a CV axle, and we have our steering knuckle removed from the vehicle. Yes, it's easy when you know how to do it. This wheel bearing is shot, it needs to be replaced, and in this video we covered the first part. In part 2 we're going to install the steering knuckle. I will show you everything, how to do it easy and yeah, save you time and money. Thank you so much guys for your time watching this video, appreciated that. Take care everybody, see you next one, bye bye.